Well, I'm delighted to be here with another one of our folk that we're chatting to about travel today. Mary Louise, introduce yourself. Who are you? Where are you from? Yeah, what do you get up to in life?
Okay, so my name is Mary Louise, what you know. I'm 23 years old. I've been living in France for the past 4.5 years. I trained as a nurse there. I worked there for a year and I came back here and worked as a nurse here. And other than that, well, I'm a Christian. That's kind of the main thing in my life. Yeah, I don't know, yeah.
Fab. And you're someone having lived in a few places in life and having travelled between countries and other stuff takes interest in travel, yes?
Yes, very much so. Yeah, I started travelling quite young. My parents would have brought me on a lot of travels when I was a kid and just kept going. I guess I can plug from there.
Oh, brilliant. And do you have somewhere that's on your bucket list for the coming year, or not so much?
Multiple places. We'll see.
Grand, very secretive. But one of the reasons that we're interviewing different people and just hearing some thoughts from different people on particular issues, and I was keen to get the opinions and to get some stories from females who have travelled alone, because obviously for myself as a male it's very different travelling around the world in certain cultures. How do you think gender affects travel? Have you experienced that, or would you say you don't think there's much difference?
I think there is a difference, but I think that the world portrays it as a negative one, when it's not always. I've found that there can be advantages and disadvantages. So, for example, on my solo travels, I found that locals were more, there was more of an adoptive sense. Like, I've had friends who found it very hard to get started on things like couchsurfing, for example, without any reviews. My very first time, I had no reviews, not even a friend to put anything on it, like absolutely nothing. Sent a message out of the blue to someone in Prague, and she ended up coming to get me at the train station, and like it was like, I don't know, 10:30 or 11 at night. And she came to get me. She said, "I know where you are. Don't move. I'll be right there." And when we walked back out, she was like, "So you see that area? You don't want to be going over there because it's a bit more dodgy at night. And you'd want to go like more at this exit." And like she was very accommodating, very very sweet, and very she gave me lots of tips on where to go, where not to go, what could be nice, what I might enjoy. And there's kind of this sense of that locals will adopt you and kind of bring you into their lives a bit more. I've had friends going on travels in countries in the Middle East, for example, and being seen as a woman travelling by themselves. All of the wives and mothers in that culture were like, "Oh, come on, we'll take care of you. We'll come stay the night." Total strangers, like, just after a conversation. I found that was... And it's been maybe easier than some of the guys I've talked with. Travelling, they found harder to build relationships with people that they travelled to, people they hadn't met before, for example, couchsurfing hosts, or people they might have met on things like Meetup, couchsurfing. And they've found it harder to keep in contact and actually build a trusting, meaningful relationship there. And I'm still in contact with a good few of my couchsurfing hosts, for example, or people I've met just completely randomly on trains, buses, cafes, anything.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. And are there particular things that you think you've or could learn specifically by travelling as a female? So there's the general hospitality that obviously sometimes people have been more open to and things like that. Or are there specific things?
Yes. My first solo trip would have been when I was 18, but I've been travelling a long time before that through family and friends. I've learnt that I've had to trust myself and my instincts a lot more. Especially on solo trips, you kind of have to go with the flow a lot more, and it's not like you can call someone who's just a straight away to come and get you in a sticky situation. You have to, if you feel that it's not right, that something's off, then you kind of have to trust that a lot more and move off. Kind of cultivating that gut instinct and sticking to it when you do feel that something's off. And also for me, my faith is a big part of my life, so I have learned to rely on God a lot more in situations where I went to an Asian country, for example, this summer, where persecution is a real thing for Christians, and I wasn't alone in that context. I was with a whole team of people, But one thing that someone told me that really, really hit me, one of the locals said that they would choose their persecution over my freedom any day. And sometimes I think that in this Western world we don't realise just how much freedom we have. And as a female travelling and as a solo female travelling in different countries and different cultures and different contexts, I found that it strengthened my faith in God, if anything, in that I've had to learn to rely on Him in sticky situations and in situations that were just so mind-bendingly stupid that I could have totally avoided, and yet He comes and rescues me in some way or another. Also in the Czech Republic, one night I was supposed to go from the Czech Republic to Poland via a night train, and living in France at the time, I thought, well, hey, I'll just rock up for the night train about an hour in advance, an hour or two, and it'll be fine. I'll get a ticket and that'll be plenty. I think the train was supposed to leave at about 11. I showed up at 9, and the guy was like, nope. What do you mean no? No ticket. No ticket? No ticket. Apparently there was no seating room, and they just don't take people on night trains between the Czech Republic and Poland anyway. If there's no seating room. In France, they'll take you on and you'll just sit somewhere, lying in a baggage carrier, anything. You'll find something. And yeah, so in this case, I had no backup. Unfortunately, I usually do, but not there. My phone was out of battery. I couldn't find anywhere to plug it in. I had my couchsurfing host in Prague had gone away for the weekend, and all the hostels I'd emailed were all sending back no, just they kept coming, all the no's. And eventually there was a yes, but it was a pretty stressful moment, and could have either broken down or just look at the situation head on and say, okay, right, this is what I can do, and eventually found something. So
yeah. Wow, and yeah, certainly interesting times. Are there countries? I mean, you mentioned Asia. Are there countries that you've been to where you particularly think that females wouldn't be welcome, or are there particular areas of the world where you just think female travel might not be possible at all?
I think there might be areas where female travel is not recommended. I have heard of stories through friends and friends of friends and communities that I'm part of online, where multiple women had bad experiences in the same town, in the same country. Personally, I think probably the most dangerous place I travelled by myself was Brazil. I was talking to a woman who worked in the hostel I was staying, and she was saying that her sister had been mugged like 2 or 3 times at knife point and gunpoint in the last 6 months. Like once outside of her house in broad daylight, once coming out of work, and the last time was an equally normal situation. She wasn't walking in the middle of Rio at night. It wasn't supposed to be particularly dangerous, and yet. So personally, I had no issues traveling to Brazil. The only time I've ever had any kind of issue is actually when I came back to France after that first solo trip around Central Europe, and my phone was stolen. But still, that's like, it's okay. It's just a phone. I know, yeah, just back on home turf and no phone. So thankfully, all my pictures were back up because I did throughout the trip. But it's not that bad. Nothing happened to me personally. I was fine. It's just material.
Yeah. And for the areas that are more dangerous for females to travel in the world, do you think there's, like, what reasons do you think there is? Is it just a societal thing? Is it particular worldviews, particular cultures, is it just a difference between city and country? Like, what would you say from the stories that you have heard from others?
I think it's a mix of a lot of different things. Some of the stories I've heard have been cultural issues. Some of them have been language barriers. Some of them have been, for example, women who weren't exactly aware of the cultural circumstance at the time, and kind of, this might have been a first or second solo trip and weren't sure what to expect and were a bit scared. And I think that a lot of it boils down as well to street smarts and to how you carry yourself is perceived by the person in front of you. So if you carry yourself, if you're unsure of your surroundings, if you're unsure of your plan, if you're unsure of who you are, of how safe you are or not, then that's visible to the outside, to someone else outside. So I'm not saying at all that the blame is to be put on the person who gets attacked in situations of attacks, for example. That's not what I'm saying, but I try to blend in as much as possible as a local when I do travel, and I found that has made a real difference. That traveling in the same city at the same time and speaking with other girls in hostels or wherever I was staying, for example, they wouldn't have had the same experience as me at all that day, that very day, even though we were in the same city or in the same town. Just carrying ourselves differently, and maybe one of us might have more of a handle on the language, things like that can really help. So I think it's a really big complication, a really big complex issue, and there's a lot of different facets to it. But I think that definitely being aware of your culture and aware of what you expected the trip, and aware of who you are and how you carry yourself can make a big difference.
Yeah, surely. I mean, culture and worldview and places are complex things. But as Christians, we would certainly claim that what we believe impacts what we do or how we experience the world. How do you think, like travelling, that would be the case either from your own experience or in general? Do you think what we believe should or does impact how you travel?
Absolutely. So for me, I believe that I'm God's daughter, that I'm daughter of the King, and there's a lot of I don't know, there's a huge reassurance for me anyway, and there's a huge it's a big confidence boost saying that my dad's a king. I know that's simplifying it a lot, but what I believe impacts how I carry myself, it impacts how I go through life, it impacts how I make decisions, or what decisions I make. It impacts how I travel and how...
So flesh that out for us. You're heading off to some mysterious location next year.
I don't know yet.
That you're not sharing about. What choices go through your head, or what are you thinking as you're deciding where to go or what to do or how to go about that? Putting you on the spot here.
Okay, yeah. So, what's the impact on my choice? A big part of it is God's will. What does He want out of this? How can I best glorify Him? Am I going to glorify Him more in situation A or situation B? Is this going to help me resemble Christ more, or is B going to help me resemble Christ more? That's a big part of how I make my decisions. That said, I think that in Christian circles, a lot of people boil that decision, the whole God's will thing. They end up so paralyzed by fear of making the wrong decision and not being in God's will that they're paralyzed. They don't make a decision in the end. And when you look throughout the Bible, throughout especially the Old Testament, when you see kind of the plan from A to B to C to Z, and you see how it winds down in the end, and how God's will is accomplished, even through all the decisions that to us seem completely stupid and nuts, and like bad decisions, and in the end, it all comes out and it all kind of, we see the results of the plan that God had been talking about at the very beginning. When He says A, then A actually happens at the very end. And I think it's important not to stay paralyzed by fear of not being in His will, if you believe in God and if you so want to follow that kind of thing, if you want to follow His will. So I think that when I make a decision, I pray about it, and I ask counsel from people around me who respect God and who have a faith in Him, and people that I respect through their maturity or their authority or their experience. And I read this book recently by a guy named Bob Goff. It's great, really good book. Read it, please. And he was saying that how he went on this like not so exciting trip when he was younger. But basically, one technique that he learned in navigation is that when you're at sea, for example, at night, and I might be getting this wrong, I probably am because I'm not an expert in navigation at all. But basically, you're supposed to find like 3 fixed points, and then where they intersect is where you are. And he was saying that when he needs to make a big decision, that he goes to people who he knows are fixed points, people who are stable people. who can give him an objective opinion and not just the opinion that he wants to hear. And where they intersect is often God speaking, and is often his will, as we put it. So it's kind of one of the parts as well, I'd say, prayer and going to people that I respect for their advice. And sometimes it takes hearing what you don't want to hear to actually know where you need to go.
Yeah. No, that's very helpful, Brill. So that's fleshes out a bit more along that. What other advice would you give to female solo travellers around the world?
I would say trust your instincts, for starters. If you feel like a situation is a bad idea, then just don't go there. It's not worth the risk. As a Christian, a lot of that happens through prayer. I've had situations, for example, couchsurfing. One of my first experiences in couchsurfing, I went to Camp Béat, a town in Brittany in France. Really, really sweet little town. Not much to do, but really cute and definitely worth the trip. And I was supposed to couchsurf at this couple's house. And I'd always said I'm never going to stay with a guy couchsurfing alone. Like, never, ever, no way. That's just a stupid, you never know. I don't know. Err on the safe side of things. And I arrive, and he says, listen, I'm really sorry, but my girlfriend had to leave, and she's gone for the next 3 months just on a work assignment, and it just happened. And I was like, oh, what did I say I never did? Oh, yeah. Oh, well, just throw that out the window. But basically, with this, I don't know, we just got on really, really well, and we had the same kind of values in life. We really liked to travel. We believed in community and in creating relationships and connections with different people around the world. He had lived in the four corners of France, literally. Like, he was born in the north, studied in the east, worked in the south, and was now living in the west. And yeah, it worked out perfectly. But I had a good instinct on the situation, and I felt that he was someone I could trust, and we're still in contact now. And his girlfriend is adorable. His now fiance.
Cool.
So yeah, I think trust your instincts big time, and also try and blend in with the locals. Learn the basics of the language, of the culture, observe how people act, how they dress, how they walk, how they interact, how. In Germany, for example, I was walking down the street. I thought I was a pretty obvious tourist-looking person at the time, because I was wearing like Birkenstocks and a big backpack on my back, and it was back when before I figured out that you can pack a lot lighter. So I think I stuck out like a sore thumb. But I don't know, like that day, a good 2 or 3 people, I think, asked me for directions and asked me, where is this and what is that? And when I was standing at some monument, they're like, so what's the story of this? In Germany, yeah. And I understand a bit of German, but I cannot speak it, so I don't know how that happened. But I think that making at least an effort to blend in with the locals, and to understand how the locals live, can make a big difference. In Prague, I went to this like little ice cream shop like 2 or 3 days in a row. And the first day I just arrived, I was starving. And when you're starving, ice cream is always the most nutritious answer to that question. But I went in, absolutely no check, and tried to figure out in English how to ask for 2 scoops of whatever I wanted. And like, they weren't very nice. I'd heard good things about the Czech Republic, but I don't know, they were a bit harsh and dry. And my couchsurfing host actually lived just next door, well, like just down the street. And so I came back the next day, except this time with a bit of Czech. And their faces just like completely changed. They were like much more happy and welcoming and accommodating, and I don't know, just made a big difference. So I think blending in and trying to do what the locals do is a good thing to do too.
Cool. That's brilliant. It's great to hear some of your stories. And any other comments or things that you'd want to share before we head on today?
Yeah, actually. Learn to travel not just for the sake of travel. Travel not just for the tourist attractions and the pretty sights, but for the opportunities that it brings. For the connections you might be able to form with people, for the friendships that might last a couple of weeks, a couple of days, a couple of hours, or a couple of months or years. One of my second or third couchsurfing host, her profile was It keeps going back to couchsurfing. Her profile was talked about zero waste and the things that I was interested in at the time. And I just knew I wanted to meet this girl. So I asked her if by any chance she was available on day A and B, whatever. And she wasn't. She and her husband were both away that weekend, but she was like, if you ever want to come back, that's no problem. So I was doing a loop in Brittany at the time. And I just changed my loop so that I could come back to hers at the end before leaving. And like the first thing when I came in the door, she introduced me to her housemate. She's like, look, it's Marie-Louise, the girl I was telling you about. She came back just for us. And since then, I've gone to Brazil to visit this friend. I've gone back to Nantes a good few times to visit her there. We're still friends, and she's planning on coming over at some point, hopefully. And I'm probably going to go back and see her too at some point. So yeah, I learn to travel less for what you can get out of it, or the superficial things, the souvenirs, the tourist attractions, and a bit more for what you can give, what you can learn from the locals, how you can open up your mind to different worldviews, to different beliefs, to different ways of doing things, of saying things, and hopefully through those connections you might get a better grasp on life.
Super. Well, thank you ever so much, Marie-Louise, for being with us today. It's been a joy, and hopefully that'll have spurred, I know it has myself and some others on to thinking through their travel in the days ahead. So thank you.